Okay, so good morning, everyone. So today we're going to continue the lesson. Okay, Gio just got here. Okay, say sorry, it's late. And today we're going to continue the lesson about two-dimensional shapes. We have already learned about the basics, the perimeter, and also the area. And also we have learned about compound shapes. So basically the very basic concept of perimeter and area in terms of two-dimensional shapes, right? And okay, Gio yang baru datang, silakan dinyalakan kameranya. Terima kasih. Okay. And then we're going to learn about now connecting all of that, those concepts that we have learned into a word problem. So we want to solve a daily life, real life situation, and also using algebra, of course, to solve a couple of questions. So I'm going to give you 5 examples for today. And after that, we will do 3 questions. And I would like you to write that down later on your exercise book. For now, I would like you to just pay attention to the examples and please participate and try to, what do you call it? Try to use your logical thinking into solving all of the question. Okay, Jovan just got here. Thank you. Late 5 minutes. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna share my screen to you guys, and here we go. Wait, I'm gonna zoom that a little bit first. Yeah, check on. Here we go. Okay, share screen. Okay, so this is going to be the title for today's lesson, okay? So hopefully I'm gonna use a little bit of accent today. I would, yeah, lagi mood aja pengen pakai accent sedikit. Okay, so today's shapes. Well, it's not world, it should be words. Sorry guys, I misspelled that a little bit. It should be word problems and algebra. Okay, here we go. So that is the topic for today's lesson. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to give you the first example. Here we go. I'm going to read the question for you guys and we're going to solve this together. Okay, so I would like you to join me in using our logical thinking to solve these questions. Okay, so let's start from number 1. A land is 20-meter long and 15-meter wide. If the cost to build fences is 165,000 rupiah per meter, how much is the cost to build fences around the land? Okay, so these are the questions that like most likely 99% will come up in the quiz later on. So please pay attention to the, what do you call, the solving the question. Okay, so whenever you see a story problems, there are a couple of things that you need to do. Okay, so first thing first, okay, first thing that then you really need to do is to read the question. Of course, to read the question. If you don't read the question, how can you solve it? Okay, so I'm gonna write down the step-by-step process that you really need to do. Okay, so number 1 is to read the question completely, so all of the sentences. Okay, the second one is try to identify. Okay, so what are you identifying here is the information that given in the question. So I'm going to use my highlighter to highlight a couple of information that might be very important to answer the question. Okay, so let's start from the first sentence. A land ya, tanah gitu ya, tanah, sebidang tanah gitu ya, is 20-meter long. Okay, I'm going to highlight that, 20-meter long and 15-meter wide. Okay, so these 2 information will be very crucial, right? Okay, and then if the cost to build fences is 165,000 rupiah per meter, this is the cost. Okay, the cost is this. Okay, the question is, how much is the cost to build? How much the cost to build a fences around the land? Okay, so those are the highlight things that will be used to answer the question. Okay, so we have identified, oh, we have 20-meter long, we have a land, and we have 20-meter long, we have 15-meter wide, and the cost of build fence is 165,000 per meter. Okay, so the first thing first, if you can illustrate, so okay, so the third step is to illustrate. So it should be illustrate. Sebentar, ini ada WA banyak banget, ada apa? Okay, so illustrate. Okay, illustrate what is really happening in this question. Okay, I'm gonna ask question. Saya akan tanya satu persatu. Jadi minta tolong untuk kenapa dimatiin lagi kameranya. Jovan yang baru datang. Ayo, Jovan. Mana Jovan? Jovan, halo. Jovan, can you hear me? Kikoemasu ka? Kikoemasu ka? Can you hear me, Jovan? Jovan, I'm gonna count to 3. If you do not, oh iya, gitu dong. Kamu nggak pernah on cam soalnya kalau di pelajaran saya. Kenapa? Ya, dinyalain ya. Terus kalau saya tanya, tolong dijawab. I'm answering your question, guys. It doesn't mean that you have to answer it correctly. It's fine if you get the wrong answer because we know that we're learning. Yeah, as long as you pay attention. Yeah, I will be very appreciating you guys if you can just like turn the camera on and answering any question that I ask. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to Jovan first. Okay, Jovan, what do you think is the shape of this land? We'll start with that question.
A rectangle, Pak.
A rectangle. Thank you very much, Jovan. Yes, it is a rectangle. I'm going to draw. I'm now going to draw a rectangle. So yes, illustrate that. Okay, I'm going to draw a rectangle. Here we go. All right. And then based from the information from the question, we know that it has 20 meter long and 50 meter wide. So I'm going to write down the 20 and the 15. The 20 is going to be here, right? It's going to be the length. And the 15 is going to be over here, right? Okay. So that is the first information that we got. And by illustrating that, you'll see, oh, this is a rectangle. And then we have 20 and 15, right? So which means that I can also set that this is 15 meter and this is 20 meter because we know that this is a rectangle. Okay. Okay, so there is the first thing that we're illustrating from the question. Okay, so next step. This guy, right? This person here, yeah, we or someone wants to build fences. Okay, so because we know that we have learned about two-dimensional shape and the concept that we have already learned are the perimeter and the area, let's try to connect the information that we have to the concept that we have already learned, which are about those two, perimeter or area. Okay, the next question is, I'm gonna go to Brian. Brian, what do you think is the connection between building fences with this question? Is it connected to perimeter or connected to area? Brian.
Perimeter.
Okay, why do you think it's perimeter? Why? The answer is correct, but why? Brian. What do you... Kenapa?
Karena dia kan per meter, Pak.
Per meter, betul. Terus apa lagi? Kalau dari gambarnya ini, kita kalau building fences itu di sebelah mana ya? Apakah building fences di sini misalnya? Sini? Apa di mana? Apa di mana? Sebelah mana?
Di dalamnya, Pak.
Di dalam? Yakin di dalam? Kan kamu bilang perimeter, bener ya? Perimeter itu betul. Tapi balik lagi, if I go back to this illustration that I just draw here. Kalau saya bikin ini line ya, tanahnya di sini ya, di tanah ini, ya kan? Bentuknya rectangle. Kalau saya mau bikin fences, saya bikinnya gimana ya? Di dalam si line-nya atau di luarnya atau gimana?
Di luarnya, Pak.
Di luarnya itu dia. Okay, thank you, Brain. Yeah. Okay, so here we go, guys. Let's go back again. When we're talking about perimeter and area, we have those two concepts, right? So when we're talking about perimeter, right, we're only dealing with the side length, like it's just outside the shape, right? So a closed figure like this, for example, I have a figure like this, right? If we're calculating the perimeter, so you only need to add like this guy with this guy with this guy with this guy and this guy, right? So just add all of them and you get the perimeter, right? So you don't have anything. For example, if I have another line in here or in here and here, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't affect the perimeter because the perimeter is only like just outside the shape, right? So let's go back again to the question. So yes, it is. Thank you very much, Brian. So that is actually correct. So when we're talking about perimeter, we're just talking about the outside. Logically, when you want to build fences, right? So you will build it. For example, you're going to build from here, going here, going here, going here, and going here. So those are going to be the fences, right? So because we know that we're talking about the perimeter, oh, okay, so we're going to find the perimeter, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go to Abel. Abel, how can we calculate the perimeter of the shape?
Uh, 20 terus plus 15.
Berapa? 15? Plus?
20 terus 15.
Okay, so ini berapa nih? Equals to what? 20 plus 15 is 35, right? Plus 20 plus 15, berapa tuh?
60.
Hampir, dikit lagi. Dikit lagi.
70, Pak.
70, okay, 70 meter, yeah, okay, thank you very much, Abel, yeah. So the perimeter is 70, so we're going to be building fences where the length of the fences, right, is 70 meter. The length, yeah, the length is like around that. It doesn't mean that, I mean, like, we're not talking about 3-dimensional shape, we're just talking about 2-dimensional shapes. So in total here, we know that the fences that we're going to build is the length of the fences will be 70 meter. Okay, let's go back to the question. The basic, not the basic, the real question, the main question. How much is the cost to build fences if we know that we have this price? Okay, I'm gonna go to Tristan this time. Tristan.
Ya, Pak.
Ya, gimana dong? Itu dong.
Apa tadi pertanyaannya, Pak?
Kan gak didengerin.
Aku
Ya
dengerin,
Allah.
Pak.
What is the total cost to build the fences? Kita tahu bahwa kita pengen bikin 70
Tadi
meter.
aku hitung di kalkulator, Pak. Itu totalnya 49.
49.
500
500
dan 600 perak, Pak. 49 juta 500 600 perak.
Oke, kamu dapatnya dari mana? What do you get the 49 million? Where did
506.000 ya, Pak. Maaf.
Ya. Oke.
Dapat dari kalkulator, Pak.
Iya, apa yang dimasukin ke kalkulatornya maksudnya?
165.000 kali 15.
Kali 15. Kenapa dikali 15?
Kan dia harus belinya 15 kali, Pak.
Belinya 15 kali?
Kan 1 meter 165.000, Pak.
Oh, 1 meter.
Kita harus beli 1 meter itu 15 kali.
Kenapa 15 kali?
Kalau mau nutup satu itu loh, Pak. Satu.
Ya kan semuanya aja, kan semuanya udah dihitung ini. Ya enggak?
Tapi tadi saya ngitungnya pas Bapak belum ngitung perimeter.
Oke, kalau kamu pakai gitu juga boleh sebenarnya. Oke. Misalnya kalau kamu menghitung sebelah sini dulu, boleh. 165.000 dikali 15 gitu ya?
Iya, Pak.
Benar ya? Nah, itu berapa? Boleh
Aduh,
sebenarnya, boleh gitu. Berapa?
Bentar, Pak. Tadi soalnya udah saya ituin, Pak. Udah saya
Kalkulatornya langsung masukin 165.000 kali 15 berapa ya?
2.475.
2.475. Nolnya tambah 3 ya.
Kok hasilnya beda sih sama kalkulator ini?
Oke.
Bentar.
Kenapa kalkulatornya? Oke, itu baru satu sisi ya.
Kalau pakai koma sama pakai titik tuh beda nggak sih hasilnya?
Ya jangan pakai titik dong. Kan gak ada desimalnya di sini. We're not talking about decimal ya. Oke guys, so actually guys, this is.
Oke, Pak, saya salah, Pak. Udah,
ya,
Pak.
ini sebenarnya nggak ada titiknya ya. Sorry guys, ini mungkin saya salah typo ya. It should not have any dot over there. Yeah, it's not a decimal number. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back here. So when Tristan said that he's doing it like this, actually you can do it like this. It's fine. And then you multiply 165,000 with 20, and then with 15 and 20, and then you add them up, right? But
jawaban aslinya.
Yeah, but actually you can do that, but it's not quite practical. Why? Because we can just like find the perimeter first and then multiply that with 165,000, right? That's more practical. So that's why we are
11.550, Pak.
11.000 apa 11 juta?
11 juta.
11 juta.
550.000.
Ya, ini dikali 70 berarti ya? Ya kan?
Iya.
11 juta berapa?
550.000.
550.000. Oke, here we go. Oke, ini jangan pakai titik kali ya. Ambiguous ya, sorry guys. We should not use that point. So I'm gonna write that just like this. Okay, here we go. So we have 11,550,000 rupiah. Again, guys, okay, so actually we have the last step. First one is read, identify, illustrate, and then use any concept. Use concept or formula or formulas. Okay, that you have to answer the question, of course, right? So you should also know what is being asked in here, okay? And then connect the dots, okay? So when it say how much is the cost to build fences around the land? Okay, we can use the concept of perimeter, right? To find the length of the fences first. And then we can just multiply that with 165,000 because that is the price per meter. Okay, so this is the first example, okay? Anyone have any question maybe? For number one, it's quite easy, right? You can just please write this down because I'm gonna make sure that this question, this type of question will come in the quiz. I will make sure 100% that this kind of question. Okay, thank you Rafael. Ya, Rafael juga benar ya. Maaf tadi saya belum buka chat. Okay, so yes. Okay, let's do example number 2. Okay, so for question number 1, we're using the concept of perimeter, right, to solve this question. Now we're going to number 2. So let's see if this also use perimeter or other things. Okay, so let's read it again. Okay, so let's start from reading the question. A lawn, ya, lawn itu kayak apa ya, kebun, taman gitu yang ada apa sih namanya? Pokoknya kalau ke taman yang ada rumput-rumputnya itu sebutnya lawn ya. Apa sih bahasa Indonesia nggak tahu. A lawn is 20 meter long and 10 meter wide. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that again. 20 meter long, okay, 10 meter wide. Okay, so those two are important information. Okay, if a government charges 20.5, so be point, yeah, guys, right? $20.5 to maintain a square meter, 25 to maintain a square meter of the lawn. What is the cost to maintain the whole lawn? Okay, so after we did the question, we need to identify. So what is actually the shape of this lawn, right? Okay, I'm gonna go to Lukman. Lukman, can you help me with this?
Lawnnya ya Pak,
Yes, of
20
course.
meter sama 10.
Yeah, itu bentuknya apa? What is the shape?
Rectangle Pak.
Rectangle. Okay, I'm gonna draw a rectangle here. So where should I put the 20 and where should I put the 10?
10-nya sama 20-nya ya Pak.
Ya.
20-nya yang di atas Pak.
Oke, 20 di atas di sini, 10-nya?
Di white-nya.
Sebelah kanan ya atau kiri? Boleh kanan, boleh kiri. Okay, or both of them ya. To make it complete, so we can just like write it down like this. Okay, so next question. Thank you, Lukman. I'm gonna go to Cynthia. Cynthia, what concept we have read, we have identify, and then we have illustrate like this. And we're going to use the concept. Question. What concept can we use to solve this question?
Sama kayak atas.
Is it perimeter or is it area or is it something else?
Area.
Area. Why is it area? What do you know that is area from the question?
Karena the whole lawn.
The whole lawn. Oke, ada lagi nggak keyword lain yang menandakan bahwa ini harus pakai area? Ada nggak? Ya, ya betul sih the whole lawn. Ada lagi satu lagi sebenarnya. Cynthia, gimana?
Square meter.
Iya, square meter. Okay, this is actually, guys, this is the keyword. Okay, so if I go back, guys, when we're talking about area, you will get the unit something like this, right? Like this, right? You'll get unit like this when you have area, right? So this read a square, right? If I have M pangkat 2 gitu ya, ini kan bacanya M square gitu kan. This is centimeter square. So we're talking about square. So which means that we're going to use the concept of area to answer this question, right? Okay, so let's write that down again. I'm gonna wait. Sebentar guys. Oke, ini kadang-kadang suka error ya. Sebentar. Square meter. Okay, I'm gonna erase that. Okay, so I'm gonna write down the concept of area. Okay, so the area is the like how many square unit inside the shape. And then we're talking about a, what do you call it? A rectangle. Okay, so what is the formulas then? Faliha, I'm gonna go to Faliha. Faliha, what is the formula of area of a rectangle? Rumus luas persegi panjang apa?
Lebar kali panjang.
Yeah, lebar kali panjang. Yes, okay. Or in this case, I'm gonna write down the length times the width. Yeah. So the length is this. This is the length, and this is the width, right? We have already know that from the question, from the illustration that we get, right? So I'm gonna write that down as length times width, right? Multiply that. And remember, guys, I'm gonna use a dot to represent multiplication instead of x, yeah, because yeah, I'm gonna use that most of the time, but yeah, maybe I'm gonna use the multiply sign, but I'm gonna use dot ya. Jadi kalau kalian lihat ada tanda titik gini di tengah-tengah gitu ya, berarti ini dikali ya. So it's length times width. So because we have already know that the length is 20 and the width is 10, so just 20 times width 10. 20 times 10 is equals to 200, right? That will be 200. And the unit is meter square. Okay, so we know the area of this lawn is 200 meters square. And we know that the gardener charges 20.5 meter to maintain a square meter of the lawn. So the question is, the main question, what is the cost to maintain the whole lawn? I'm gonna go to Darren now. Darren, what is the total cost? Silakan, Darren. Darren, welcome to our home. Caranya gimana tuh? Ya, simpelnya gini. Hah? Gimana? Silakan Darren. Ya.
20,5 dikali 200.
Oke, ya. Tinggal dikali ya. Oke, because we know that ya udah kalau 1 meternya 20,5, 1 meter ya. Berarti 200 meter ya tinggal dikali 200 saja, right? So the easiest way to
Totalnya
do that.
4.100.000, Pak.
4.100.000. Banyak banget.
4.100 apa?
4.100 apa ya?
Dolar.
Dolar. Okay. Don't forget to write down the unit ya. So the unit, the price is $4,100. Mahal banget. Ini punya selebritis kali ya, kayak misalnya Katy Perry atau apa gitu ya, yang mahal-mahal ya. Oke, so the price ya, the total cost, tidak ada chat, maaf saya belum buka chat. Oke, thank you Rafael ya, sudah menjawab juga benar ya, 4.100 ya, atau 4.100 ya. So the total cost to maintain the line is $4,100 yeah, because yeah, that's it, right? So the concept that we use is the area. Again, guys, from reading the question and then highlighting the information that will help us to answer the question is going to be very, very helpful for us to solve it effectively and accurately. Okay, so this is question number 2. Any questions before I continue to the third question, third example? Got it? Okay, please read it. Write this down. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to question number 3. Here we go. Okay, so number 3 has a very, very short sentence, like 2 sentences, but yeah, the first sentence is the information, the second sentence is the question. Okay, so this is involving algebra now. Okay, so we know that in here we have perimeter of a square is 40 centimeters. The question is calculate the area. You need to calculate the area. Okay, first, you have read it, yes. Second, you need to identify. So identify what we know in the question. Okay, the one that we know is the perimeter of a square, which is 40 centimeters. Okay, and the question is, what is the area? This is a question. Okay, so we have identified, oh, okay, we know that we're going to have a square. And we know that the perimeter is 40 centimeter. So let's draw that. I'm gonna draw a, what do you call it? Oops, sorry, should be using this. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a square. Here we go. Okay, so let's assume that this is a square. And we don't know, we only know that the perimeter of the square is 40. So I'm gonna write down P equals to 40 centimeter. And then the thing that we're going to looking for, the thing that we're looking for is the area. Okay. Okay, so first thing first, what do we need? What information do we need to calculate the area of this square? Okay, I'm gonna go to Aira.
Sisinya
Ya, sisinya. Terus kan kita belum punya sisinya. Terus gimana cara nyarinya? What do you think? Masih di Aira.
40 bagi 4, Pak.
40. Kenapa 40 bagi 4?
Karena sisinya ada 4, Pak.
Karena sisinya 4. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Aira. Yeah, so the area, that because in area of a square, if you go to your formulas, you will get the area of a square is s square. Okay, where the s is the side length. This is s, this is s, this is s, and this is s. Right? So as Aira said before, ya apa dibagi 4 aja. Why we are dividing it by 4? Because all of the side length are the same. So if I use an algebra to solve this, I'm gonna separate that a little bit. So I'm gonna write down the formula first. Yeah, you can write the formula because I know that P on the perimeter of the square is 4s, right? 4 times s. I'm gonna write P equals to, sorry, it should not be 8. Okay, so equals to 4s, right? And that 4s is equals to 40. Okay, so this is where the algebra going to make going to be very handy. So we have this equation, right? 4s equals to 40. So which means that the s is going to be 40 divided by 4. Okay, remember algebra, guys? Whatever you do on the left side, you do the same thing on the right side. And because we know that we want to have the s alone in one side of the equal sign, so the 4 must be canceled, right? So I can just write down like this. Okay. Okay, previously we have 4s equals to 40 because we want to get rid of the 4. So we need to divide both of the sides with 4. So I can just cancel this with this, right? So which means that I will get the s is equals to 40 divided by 4 equals to 10 centimeter. Okay, so now I have this information to be used to find the area of the square, right? And because the area of the square is s times s, or just s square, so that will be 10 square, and that will be equals to 100 centimeter square. And there we go, we have the final answer. Okay, so although I know, guys, that you can nggak pakai algebra juga bisa. Yes, of course. But again, guys, this will help you to think more systematically. That's the first one. And the second one is to use the algebra in to solve any question, because the question might not be this easy, right? This is quite easy because the parameter is just 40. What if it's like a decimal number or a fraction? Or maybe a radical. A radical is like a root form, right? In which you haven't learned yet, but later on you will learn about that. And if you have those kind of numbers, you cannot use the simple way that you always do use when you're in elementary school. But yeah, it's kind of have more complexity, right? So that's why I really need you to write down the what they call the systematical way on how to solve the question by writing down the algebraic expression or the algebraic equation and then solving them. Okay, so this is for number 3. Any question for number 3? We have 2 more examples. Okay, let's go to number 4. Here we go. Okay, so number 4. Again, guys, please read the question first. Okay, I'm going to read it for you guys. So from 4, area of a square is 81 centimeters square. Okay, calculate the perimeter. Okay, we have read it. Second one, we have to identify. So what are we identifying here? Is the first thing that it is the area, right, is 81 centimeter. We have a shape, a 2-dimensional shape where the area is 81 centimeters square. And the shape of the two-dimensional shape is a square. Okay, so let's draw a square. Again, another square. Okay, I'm gonna draw, my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna draw a square. Okay, here we go. Square. And then the area is 81 centimeters square. So I'm gonna write down the area is, which means that is how many squares inside. So we have 81 squares in where one small square is 1 centimeter square, right? And I'm gonna write down the area. So just that is the area. So the area is equals to 81 centimeters square. And the thing that is being asked is the perimeter. Okay, so you're looking for the perimeter. Okay, so I'm going to write the formula here because we're calculating perimeter. So the P is going to be 4S. We have it here, right? Because this is a square. Okay, I'm going to go now to Kenny. Okay, I have this formula over here. How do you think we can find the S? Can you help me, Kenny? Cara nyari S-nya gimana ya? Saya udah punya 81 tuh sebagai areanya, terus saya udah punya rumusnya A sama dengan S kuadrat. Terus gimana cara nyari S-nya? Yes. Okay. Kita langsung substitute ya. Tadi areanya berapa? 81. Jadi tulis di bawahnya si A itu 81. Nah, terus ini gimana ya? 81 sama dengan S kuadrat. S kuadrat itu sama aja S kali S. Sebuah angka yang dikalikan. Dibagi 2. Nah, gimana tuh? Apakah dibagi 2 atau diapain ya kira-kira? Sebenarnya ini saya belum ajarin sih, tapi kira-kira aja. Sebuah angka kalau dikali dengan dirinya sendiri hasilnya 81. Berapa angka itu? Oke nih. Berapa kali berapa sama dengan 81? Oke nih.
8.
Hampir 8.
9 kali 9.
9 benar ya. Thank you Ken ya. So which means that the S is going to be 9 because we know that. Okay, actually guys, I haven't teach you about the exponent, but yeah, I'm gonna teach it here. Yeah. So when you have a square, right, and then you want to solve that as an equation, like an algebraic equation, actually, when you have a square, you square root both sides. Square root both sides. Gitu ya. Kalau tadi kan dua-duanya dibagi 4 nih kan, dua-duanya dibagi 4 nih, bagi 4 ya. Karena pengen ngilangin si 4-nya gitu ya. So for this one, you are going to cancel the square. Kita gimana cara ngilangin square? Dikasih square root gitu. Nah, square and square root itu saling cancel. Ya, square root sama square itu saling cancel. Jadinya tinggal S doang gitu. Nah, baru kita tinggal tulis di sini. I'm gonna write down the S on the left side, actually same thing. Square root of 81, akar dari 81 berapa? 9 gitu kan. Oh, berarti 9 sama dengan S. Nih dia, saya dapat S-nya. Okay? So that's the first step. Again, why are we looking for the S? Because to calculate the perimeter, we need the S gitu ya. Kita perlu S-nya untuk mencari perimeter gitu. Makanya kita cari S-nya dulu. Dari mana? Dari area. Gitu. Okay. Now, in conclusion, so because the main question is to find the perimeter, so write down the perimeter. The formula maybe is 4S. And since we know that the S is 9, so that will be 4 times 9, and that will be equals to 36 centimeters. And there we go, you have the final answer. Okay, gitu ya. Okay. Again, guys, please write this down. It's going to be very important for you guys because yeah, I'm going to make sure that these kind of questions will come up later on the quiz. Okay. Any question before I go to the last question for today? Last example. Belum? Oke, ini masih dimatiin lagi nih. Coba dan Felisa, Nesa, Aurel, dan Rafael. Oke, saya belum tanya Felisa, Aurel, dan tadi Rafael dan udah. jawab banyak ya. Kira juga belum saya tanya. Oke, lanjut. Number 5. Let's go to the last example for today. Here we go. Perimeter of a rectangle is 120. Okay, if the length is 3 times the width, calculate the length, the width, and the area. Okay, so we have a lot of questions here. You need to find the length, the width, and the area. Oh my goodness, there are so many questions. But again, guys, after you read the question, don't stigmatize yourself to say, aduh susah banget. No, ya. Baca dulu pelan-pelan, kemudian analisis dulu, right? And then write down, draw any illustration, baru step-by-step systematic process. Yeah, okay? Okay, so let's do that. We have read the question. Now we are going to identify what we have from the question. Okay, so this is the first word, okay? The perimeter of a rectangle is 100. So perimeter is this. What is the shape? The shape is a rectangle, right? Okay, so let's draw a rectangle first. So that is the third step, right? To illustrate. So let's draw. Oh my goodness. Yeah, should pick this one first, and then go here, and then go here, and then okay, here we go. So this is a rectangle. So the rectangle here, the perimeter is 120. So I'm going to write down P equals to 120 centimeters. Okay, and then we have another information from the second sentence. Here we go. The length is 3 times the width. The length is 3 times the width, but we don't know the length. We don't know the width yet. I mean, like, we don't know the real value of the length and the width, right? So how can we illustrate that? Remember in algebra, when you don't know a certain values, you just write that down as a letter, right? Represent that as a letter, for example, like X, Y, or L, or M, any letter you want. But make sure that if you have 2 variables, 2 different things, you name it with different letters. Yeah. Okay. So in here, the length, I'm going to name that with L, right? The length is the L is over here. And then the width, I'm going to name that with W. So the W is in here. So which means that this is going to be also L, and this is also going to be W. Okay, so that's the first step, okay? Illustrating. The second thing is when you are able to write an expression or equation from the sentence, write it down. Okay, so I have this expression over here. Yeah. So can anyone tell me how can we write this down as an equation? Ini gimana ya? Bisa nggak ditulis sebagai sebuah persamaan? Misalnya ini sama dengan ini misalnya. Okay, I'm gonna go to Kiara. Kiara, what do you think?
Cari apanya, Pak?
Bikin persamaan dulu. Ini ada panjangnya itu 3 kali lebarnya. Panjangnya itu L, lebarnya itu W. Ini kalau saya tulis dalam persamaan aljabar gimana? Misalnya kayak 4X sama dengan 5Y misalnya kayak gitu. Misalnya kayak gini. Ini gimana nih kalimat ini?
Variabelnya boleh apa aja?
Variabelnya kita udah L sama W. L itu length, W itu width.
L sama dengan 3W.
Yes, very good, Kiara. Itu dia maksud saya ya. Okay. So L equals to 3W. Why? Because the length is L, represented by L, is we represent that by equal sign, and then 3 times 3 multiply, gitu kan? Times itu kan multiply ya. The width, kenapa ditulisnya enggak 3 dikali W aja, Pak? Ya sama aja, 3 kali W kan 3W gitu ya. Sama kayak algebra, we don't need to write down the multiplication sign. Ya enggak? Okay. So we have that. Oh, okay, that will be very, very important expression that we will use. Okay, I'm gonna highlight that. Maybe add a color here. Okay, I'm gonna highlight this. Okay, so if we have L equals to 3W, then we can substitute these 2 by 3W. Ya enggak? Kalau saya tahu L sama dengan 3W, ya L ini saya ganti aja jadi 3W dua-duanya. Kenapa? Supaya variabelnya ada 1 doang ya. Biar variabelnya enggak 2. Kalau 2 kan agak susah ya. Belum saya ajarin pula, belum. Ya udah, so which means that I'm gonna change that L, these 2 L's by 3W. Okay, sampai sini nyambung ya? Okay, now I'm gonna go to GO. How can you connect the information, these 2 information, the image and the perimeter. Gimana tuh? Apa koneksinya? Apa hubungannya? Perimeter itu apa sih? Cio?
Di ini ya Pak apa nih
Ya.
yang bentar saya lupa namanya
Iya.
di itu di luarnya
Ya betul, di luarnya. Diapain tuh? Luarnya diapain?
diuk
Di apa? Dikali, dibagi, apa dikurang, apa ditambah, apa diapain? Cio, sorry masih mute. Cio. Cio? Ini kan luarnya ini nih, ini sama ini kan. Nah, kalau nyari perimeter tuh semuanya diapain itu?
tambah
Ditambah itu maksudnya ya. Oke, sekarang kita tambah ya. So I'm gonna add all of them. So we have 3W, and then we have this one, and then we have W, and then we have 3W again, and then we have W. Okay, there we go. Right? So the perimeter is this, right? 3W plus W plus 3W plus W. Okay. Question, can we simplify this? Bisa disederhanain nggak sih? Bisa digabung-gabungin nggak sih? Jadi gimana sih ya? I'm gonna go to Aurel. Aurel. Iya. Aurel, kenapa kamu off cam? Halo, Aurel. Iya, Aurel. Ini gimana simplify-nya? Ini gimana nih kalau digabung jadi berapa ya? Jadi gimana ya? Oops, sorry.
Jadi
Kamu lagi kenapa? Lagi sakit?
ya, Pak.
Enggak lagi sakit, iya. Kalau lagi sakit bilang aja ya, nggak apa-apa. Oke. Gimana Aurel? Apakah bisa menjawab ini atau saya perlu lempar ke yang lain?
Itu 3W jadi ini enggak
3W tambah W tambah 3W tambah W. Jadi berapa tuh kalau digabung? Ya. Oke, ada yang
8W bisa nggak?
Iya, 8W. Kenapa bisa 8? Bener sih, tapi kenapa?
Ya, gimana ditambah?
Ditambah ya. 3 tambah 1 gitu ya.
W tambah 3W tambah W.
Ya, ini kan sama aja W itu kan sama aja 1W ya, ya kan? Just 1W gitu kan. So, basically you only add 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 ya equals to 8W. Okay, thank you Aurel. Arigatou gozaimashita. Okay, remember that guys, actually we have a number in front of this which is 1, but we don't need to write it down. Okay, so here we go, we have 8W. Okay, but we also know that the P is 120. So we can substitute this P with 120, right? Oh, there you go. Okay, saya mau ke Rafael. Rafael udah tadi ya, nggak apa-apa lah. Felisa belum. Felisa, what do you think? How can we solve the W? What is the value of W if I have this expression? This equation. Felisa. Felisa, hello. And 3. And 3. Felisa, are you familiar with solving algebraic equation? Not yet? Oh, okay. No problem ya, Felisa. Okay. I'm gonna go to Tristan. Yay, Tristan again. Tristan. Ini gimana, Tristan?
Dah lah Pak.
Duh, kok entah gimana sih?
Dari dulu aku kali kesusahan Pak mau algebra Pak.
Nah, makanya saya bilang, tanya ke saya bantu. Saya kan udah punya video tuh. Masih kurang video, saya bikinin lagi ya. Oke. Tadi saya bikinin khusus lah untuk algebraic equation ya. Oke, here we go. Cynthia deh, Cynthia. Yes. Cynthia ini gimana Cynthia?
Dibagi
Dibagi berapa?
8W.
Iya, 8W.
8
aja, W-nya nggak usah ya. Oke. So, remember guys, the goal is to make the W, because the variable is W, right? We're looking for the W. To make that W alone in one side of the equal sign. Saya ulang ya, nih. Tristan, tolong dengarkan baik-baik ya. yang lain bilang belum paham juga. Intinya gini, kita kan pengen tahu nih berapa sih W ini nilainya, angkanya berapa ya? Itu 8W itu kan artinya 8 dikali W gitu, ya kan? Nah, artinya ini kan W ini ada di sebelah siapa? Kayak Halim baru datang. Oh my god, ini jam 11.20. Ya, bagaimana ini ya? Sudahlah, karena saya sangat baik hati, saya izinkan saja masuk walaupun sedikit. Tapi absennya tetap telat. Ya, oke, saya ulang ya. I'm gonna repeat again. If you have an algebraic equation, right? And then you want to know the value of that variable. Ini cuma satu variable ya, cuma W aja, right? Which means that you need to make that variable alone ya, sendirian in one side of the equal sign. Oke, saya mau ke Tristan lagi ya. Nih Tristan, ayo biar bisa nih Tristan. Oke. Tristan kan dia pengen sendiri si W-nya ya di salah satu sisi sama dengan. Oke, W-nya lagi di sebelah mananya sama dengan? Sebelah kanan atau sebelah kiri?
Sebelah kanan, Pak.
Sebelah kanan. Di sebelah kanan ada yang di sebelah kanan sama dengan, ada yang lain nggak selain si W?
Ada 8, Pak.
Ada 8. Berarti kita harus ilangin tuh 8-nya. Oke, saya masih itu Tristan ya. Tristan jangan unmute dulu. Oke. Terus gimana cara ngilangin 8-nya? Kita pakai opposite operation dari dengan si W. Sekarang saya balik lagi. 8W artinya 8 lagi diapain sama W? Tambah, kali, kurang atau bagi?
8. Oh, ditambah.
Bukan dong. 8W.
Gimana sih, Pak? Aku agak lupa.
Oke, saya mau tanya. Kalau saya tulis 2X. Oke, sorry bentar ya. Otomatis udah selesai. Oke. Saya misalnya tulis begini. Ada expression 2A misalnya. Ini artinya 2 sama A lagi diapain?
Digabungin, Pak.
Iya, digabungin maksudnya. Operationnya apa? Ditambah, dikurang, dikali, apa dibagi? 2 sama A ini.
Dikali.
Dikali gitu ya. 1 kali deh. 2 dikali A gitu ya. Berarti kalau 8W juga 8 dikali W dong, ya kan?
Iya, Pak.
Nah, oke. Sekarang cara simpelnya begini. Kamu mau cancel si 8 ini, karena 8 dia harus kita cancel, harus kita ilangin gimana pun caranya gitu ya. Kita pakai lawan operasi dari kali. Tadi kan karena kamu bilang dikali, kalau lawannya kali jadi apa, Tristan?
Bagi, Pak.
Dibagi. Supaya 8-nya habis, berarti harus dibagi 8. Harus dibagi 8 ya? Ya kan?
Iya, Pak.
Ya enggak? Nah, anything you do on the right side of the equal sign, you do the same exact thing on the left side of the equal sign. Ya. Oke, Tristan masih following me?
Iya, Pak.
Oke, jadi kan kita mau cancel 8-nya. Karena ini lagi dikali, oh berarti kita harus bagi supaya 8-nya cancel. Bagi dengan berapa? Ya angka yang sama. Kalau ini dibagi 8, ini juga dibagi 8. Oke, which means that we can cancel the 8, right? Oh, 8 bagi 8 kan 1. Atau boleh cancel aja langsung. Oke, I'm just canceling the 8 now. Jadi kan yang sebelah kanan tinggal W doang, ya nggak?
Iya, Pak.
Nah, sekarang tinggal hitung ini. 120 bagi 8 berapa? Tristan, silakan.
15, Pak.
15. Nah, dapat deh itu W-nya. Bagaimana
Jadi
Tristan?
W-nya 15.
W-nya 15. Nih, balik lagi ke gambar ya. I'm gonna go back to the question again. So, the illustration now, instead of writing down as W, ya kan? Oh, W saya kan udah dapet. Ya udah, saya gantilah dia jadi 15 sekarang. Ya. Oke, itu dia dapat W-nya.
Oh, iya, ngerti.
Gitu ya? Oke, sekarang saya mau ke siapa ini? Oke, Halim udah datang ya, sudah saya mau nanya. Saya mau ke Cynthia lagi. Saya lagi ini sama Cynthia. Saya pengen tahu. Cynthia, gimana cara nyari L-nya? Kan tadi udah we find the width ya. Terus sekarang
Yang lain aja Pak, yang lain Pak.
Pak
yang lain.
katanya kemarin Tristan dulu.
Ya itu karena cerita dulu Pak, tapi ya saya mau Pak.
Ya, biar adil ya. Oke. Oke, I'm gonna go to Lukman right now. Oke, Lukman. L ya. Gimana cara nyari L sekarang?
L ya, Pak?
Ya.
Lengthnya ya?
Yes.
15 kali 3 bukan
Yeah.
3 times.
Betul banget, Lukman. Yes, very good. So we have this equation over here, right? Oh, L equals to 3W. Oh, because we know that the value of W is 15. So we can just like, I'm going to use that information. We're going to write it 3W. And then because we know the W is 15, so that will be 3 times 15. And that will be equals to 45. Okay, so I'm going to change this. So that would be 45, right? Okay, now we have all the information here, right? We have the length and then we have the width. And actually we have one more question, which is the area. Okay, now I'm gonna go to Felisa. Boleh Felisa? Felisa, how do you calculate the area of a rectangle? Felisa? The area of a rectangle. Oh iya, kayak hal yang tadi mati. Felisa? Ini the area of a rectangle. Actually, have learned this in primary school, so I think you know it. Maybe you forgot. Gimana?
15
Uh-huh.
times 15.
15 times almost. Area is actually length times width, yeah, right? So what is the length and what is the width, Felisa? We have the length and we have the width, right? Or from here. So what do you suggest, Felisa? Tadi 15 ya. 15 is the width ya. So I can change that 50, W with 50. How about the length?
45.
Yes, it's 45. Okay. Can you help me with the calculation? Felisa, do you have a calculator with you right now? Do you have it?
No.
No? Okay. So actually in math, it's mandatory that everyone should have a calculator. Yeah. So this kind of calculator, I'm going to show you later. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to help you with the calculation. So 45 multiplied by 15, that will be equals to 675 because the unit is in centimeter. So write this down as centimeter squared. Okay, so those are the examples of word problems. We have just word problems and we have word problems in which we are using algebra to solve all of them. And again, guys, please write this down because it's going to be very, very important. As I'm going to give you a lot of questions like this, yeah. And then this is also going to help you in answering the 3 questions that I'm going to give you today. So after you write down all of these examples, please take your exercise book and I'm going to give you 3 questions, okay? Okay, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to write down all of the question. Wait, is there any? Okay. Any question, guys, before I give you the question, the real question is, okay, yeah, let's go to the first question. Please take your exercise book. Here we go. This is going to be the first question. Nanti jangan keluar dulu ya, saya belum absen ulang. Okay, here we go. This is the first question. Here we go. Perimeter of a rectangle is 100 decimeter. If the length is 30 decimeter, calculate the area. Okay, so that is for question number 1. I'm going to help you for number 1. Yeah, number 2 and 3, you do it yourself. Yeah, maybe I will help you a little bit. Okay. Okay, again, the first thing you do is to read the question. The second one is to highlight or make underline to identify what it is and what are the information given from the question. Okay, here we go. I'm going to highlight it for you guys. So the perimeter is this. And then we have the shape is this. And then we also have another information, which is this. Okay, and then the one that being asked is this. That is the question. Okay. Write the question ya. Bentar, saya harus. Okay. Okay, first thing first, okay? After you read the question, and then I have help you with the highlight. And then you illustrate, okay? Any kind of problems like this, if you can illustrate
Pak,
them.
tadi DM itu dekameter apa desimeter?
Decimeter. Kalau deka tuh DAM ya.
Ya Pak, dem.
Desi ya, desi. Bukan Bu Desi ya. Okay, lanjut ya. Okay, so I'm gonna help you also with the what do you call it? The shape. A rectangle. I'm gonna draw a rectangle for you. I'm gonna help you with that. Here we go. I have a rectangle over here. And the length is, let's name that with L ya. Length paling gampang kita ambil aja huruf depannya L. The length is this guy and also this guy, right? That is those two are the length. And then we know that we have another measurement, which is the width, right? Okay, and then we also know that the perimeter is 100, so write down P equals to 100 decimeter. Ya, tolong tulis caranya dan illustrationnya ya, tolong digambar. Oke, nggak harus pakai penggaris, is okay guys, no problem with that. Yang penting yang mirip-mirip lah sama rectangle. Jangan saya bilang rectangle, kalian bikinnya kayak lingkaran ya, jangan. Hati. Apalagi bikinnya kayak segitiga. Oke, let's go to the next thing. And we also know that the length is 30. Okay, write that down. L equals to 30, right? Okay, so those are the things that is given from the question. And then we know that we want to find the area. To find the area, because we know that the area, the formula for the area, we need the length and also the width. We have found, we know the length from the question, but we don't know the width first. So let's find the width. From where? From these two information. Okay, so let's just use the formulas. Okay, so the formulas for perimeter of a rectangle is, or I can like add all of them, right? So it's going to be W plus L plus W plus L. Okay, so it's like W plus L plus W plus L. So W plus L plus W plus L. Okay. And because I know that the L is 30 and the P is 100, so substitute any numbers that you know from the question, any values, to the variable. In here, P is 100. So write down 100 below that. Exactly below that. Ya, biasain kayak gini ya. Tulis persis di bawahnya. Okay, and then the W, we don't know that yet. Just W. The L is 30. And the W also we don't know yet. And then the L is 30. Okay, so on the right side of the equal sign, right, we can simplify that. So that will be 100 equals to W plus W is 2W, right? And then 30 plus 30 is 60. Okay, now find the W using this information. Okay, I'm gonna rewrite that as 2W plus 60 equals to 100. Okay, now you solve it. Solve this. After you get the W, right? And then you go here to find the area. Okay, got it? Ngerti maksudnya ya? Prosesnya, okay? Silakan ditulis dulu. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to do this question. 5 minutes maximum. And you can still ask me, guys. Again, if you are still having difficulties, just ask me a favor. I will gladly help you. Oke, ini lanjutin ya. Ini belum selesai ya, guys. Lanjutin nih. Sampai kamu ketemu W-nya berapa. Ini W sama dengan berapa misalnya. Nanti boleh masukin ke sini W-nya. L-nya udah ada 30, W-nya berapa ya tinggal dikali, dapatlah areanya. Gitu ya. Oke. 5 minutes ya. That means 11:38. Tadi udah lewat ya, 37. Oke. Ada yang ngechat? Silakan. Ini pakai algebra formula. Iya, betul dadanya. Kayak gini ya. Ini saya udah tulis ya, guys. Ini ikutin ya, tulis begini aja. Walaupun misalnya kalian punya cara lain, it's okay, no problem. But if you're still having difficulties in converting this into algebra, that's why I'm giving you a hand, right? So again, whenever you see that you have an equation, because we know that the perimeter is actually just adding all of the sides, right? So the perimeter, so that's why I'm writing about this. P equals to W plus L plus W plus L, right? So that's the first thing. The second one is that we know we have the value of P and L, right? I'm going to highlight that maybe. Okay, this is the P, right? So which means that that is going to be here. exactly below the P, right? This guy. And then we know that we have a length of 30. So the length is equals to 30. So we can substitute the L by 30, right? This is the L, this is the L, and then we have 30, right? And then after you get all of them, you simplify, right? This W plus W is going to be 2W. And this 30 plus 30 is going to be 60. After you get that, this is an equation, and then you just solve this equation, and you will get the W. Oke, Pak, ini DM. Apa DM? Oh, DM square. Iya, betul. DM square. Saya kira DM. Rafael katanya segitu. Oke, nggak usah di itu dulu. Oke, Rafael betul sekali. Yes, the W segitu ya. Setelah after you get the W, you find the area ya, because the main question is the area. Ya, oke, Lukman juga betul. Sip. Mantap. W-nya segitu betul. Yes, betul sekali. Tinggal lanjut ya. Oke. Ya, betul. Darren betul. A-nya kayaknya Rafael, A-nya bukan segitu karena kamu kaliin kan. L-nya kan segini. Kamu tadi dapat W-nya kan sekian gitu kan. Itu dikali Rafael ya. W-nya tadi udah bener ya Rafael ya. Ya, Lukman betul. Ya. Ya, betul Cynthia, betul sekali segitu. Ya, ini saya sambil baca ya, guys. Saya kayak ngomong sendiri nih. Iya sih kayak ngomong sendiri. Kamu tulis di chat, saya jawab. Oke. Can we go to masih ada 2 menit lagi ya. Tadi saya janji 5 menit. Oke. Oke, baiklah. 3 soal aja, guys. 3 aja cukup ya. Masa banyak-banyak, 3 aja. Kerjanya langsung di sini. Biar nggak ditunda-tunda. Nanti tinggal submit. Klik foto, submit. Oke, Rafael bukan segitu. Kamu kaliin aja Rafael ya. Tadi kan L-nya udah ada nih, saya ulang ya, Rafael ya. Ini kan udah ada nih L-nya ya kan. W-nya tadi kan kamu udah dapat nih. Tinggal dikali ini kali ini hasilnya berapa? Bukan segitu. Kegedean segitu Rafael ya. Oke, tadi W-nya benar kan ya? Saya cek dulu Rafael. Iya, Aurel betul sekali. Jangan lupa unitnya ya. Oke, tadi Rafael. Ya betul, Rafael. W-nya segitu betul kok. Tinggal areanya aja ya. Oke. Oke, can we go to the next question? Oh, belum, masih ada satu menit lagi. Saya minum lagi berarti. Oke, here we go. Oke, saya ulang ya guys. Algebra. Penting banget. Oke. Aduh, saya kapan ya sempat bikin konten baru ya? Belum sempat bikin konten baru nih di YouTube saya nih. Untuk ngebantu kalian ya. Okay, it's 11:37. So let's go to question number 2. Okay, here we go. Number 2. Okay, the length of a rectangle is 2x plus 5 and the width is 3x minus 2. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 76 centimeter, calculate A, the value of x, B, the length, the width, and the area. Okay. I'm gonna help you again with this one, okay? With the drawing, ya. Saya bantu gambarnya, okay? So I'm gonna go here. The length of a rectangle. So we have a rectangle, right? And which the length is 2x plus 5. And then we have the width is 3x minus 2. And then we have also another information, which is the perimeter is 76 centimeter. Okay, so notice that I am using different color here so that you can connect. Oh, the green one with the green one. Oh, the length is 2x plus 5. And the pink one, the width is 3x minus 2. And it is a rectangle. And the perimeter is 76 centimeter. Okay, so I'm going to draw that for you guys. The shape is just a rectangle here. And then we can just like write down what do we know from the question. We have the first one is this green highlight, the length. We know that this is the length and this is the length and this is the width and this is the width, right? L, L, W, W. Okay, so I'm going to change that L with this to x plus 5. Okay, so I'm going to erase that. I'm going to change that into 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5. Okay, and then we have another information that the width is 3x minus 2. So we can cancel this. I mean, I can just like erase that and change that into 3x minus 2. And this is also 3x minus 2. Okay, and then we have one more information, which is the perimeter, right? P is equals to 76 centimeters. And then you do the same exact concept. I mean, like you use the same exact concept to answer this question. So the first one is the value of x. Okay. So basically, you just adding all of the side, right? For this plus this plus this plus this equals to this. And then find the value of x by using, by solving the algebraic equation that you will make after you write that. Okay, and then after that you will get the L, and then the after you get the X, for example, misalnya gitu ya, misalnya X-nya let's say 12 misalnya gitu. Which means that the length, right, will be just substituting the X value with 12. Yeah, for example, this is just an example. If the X is 12, but actually it's not that. So which means that I can answer question B by writing down the L is equals to 2x plus 5. And since, for example, if I have the X is 12 in the first question A, so the L will be equal to 2 times 12 plus 5. And you just calculate using the calculator, or you can just use a manual calculator. It's up to you. Yeah. And the same thing with the width, with this one. And then the area is just like multiply those two numbers, the length and the width, from answer number P and C to answer question D. Okay, I'm gonna give you also 5 minutes, 11:45, to at least write this down. And again, I have helped you with the illustration, and I would like you to write down the equation and then solve it to find the x, and then find the length, the width, and the. Okay, 45, yeah, 11:45. I'm going to go to the last question, number 3. For number 3, I'm not going to help you at all. So you just write down the question, and I would like you to try to solve it individually yourself. Yeah. Again, guys, we really need to do some exercises, because in mathematics, understanding concept is the first thing that you need to understand. You need to do. Yeah, you need to apply. The second one is drilling. Actually, drilling is quite important. Yeah, because we as a human, we tend to forget a lot. Yeah. I do. I forget a lot. That's why we need exercises. We need drillings, right? So that we can improve our skills. Especially, I'm gonna say it again, especially in solving algebraic equation. Okay, so that's one of the most important things. Okay, we still have 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna pause recording. Oke, sebentar ya. Saya jelasin dulu. Okay. So, this is 12 meter and this is 10 meter, right? 12 and 10. Okay. And each tile side is 20 centimeters. So we have this, if we have only one tile over here, it just covered 20 times 20, right? If you want to cover all of the area of this floor, how many tiles do I need? How many of these do I need? And then the next one is the price of a tile is 12,000. So how much will it cost to install the tiles? That's it. Okay. Gitu ya. Tolong ditulis dulu. Please write this down first, so that if you cannot do it now, it's fine. You can do it later. But remember that I will give you a deadline. So make sure that you submit it on time. Oke, Cynthia. Yang nomor 2I. Mana ada 2I? Oh iya, bisa jadi Cynthia. Betul. Yes. Ya, jadi saya mau kasih tahu satu hal ya guys. A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. Gitu. Ya, itu saya untuk menyambung pertanyaannya Cynthia. Yes, bisa jadi begitu. Kalau itu begitu ya udah benar berarti. So mungkin kamu akan bertanya, Pak, ini bukan rectangle dong Pak, misalnya ini adalah ini gitu kan. Iya betul gitu, karena when we talking about a square is actually a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. Gitu. Okay, thank you, Cynthia, for the question. Actually, yes. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. So 11:50 ya, kita akan end the Zoom. Karena nomor 3 ini kalian tulis aja dulu the questions. And I would like you to individually try it yourself. Again, guys, to train your logical thinking, okay, in answering any, not just math question, any logical thinking question. Because again, we really need to, what do you call it? Really need to understand concept, right? Understanding concept. Instead of just like, okay, misalnya kasih tahu caranya begini, ditulis udah, tapi not understanding the concept. Can understanding the concept is the most important thing here, and not just in math, in other subjects too. And whenever you understand a concept, it's going to be very helpful for you to answer a lot of things. Okay, 1 more minute, guys, to write down the questions. And again, if you still have any questions now and during this Zoom session, you can just ask. Cekaman, kudasai. Nani? Kore wo. Shinderu. Okay, it's 11:50. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm eating. Okay, guys. Okay, so we are at the end of our lesson today. So I'm gonna review that a little bit. So previous week, previous 2 weeks, we have learned about the perimeter and also the area and also compound shape, right? And today we're using those concepts, the perimeter and area, to answer some questions, story problems, okay? So and whenever you encounter any story problems or word problems, there are those 4 steps that I just told you before are the things, at least 4 basic things that you really need to do, okay? The first one is read the question carefully, right? And incomplete, like the whole question, the whole information from the question. The second one is to identify what it is. For example, oh, this is a rectangle, oh, this is a square or anything else. And to highlight every single useful information. For example, it's giving you the length to write, oh, L equals to this, width equals to this, perimeter equals to this, so on. And then the third one is to illustrate, right? The illustrate, if you can draw it, you draw it, and then write down anything that you have from the question to the drawing. And then the third one, the last one is to use the concept. So determine which concept will you use to answer a question. Oh, this one is using perimeter because it's like this. This is using area because it's like this. And so on. Okay. And then you can use algebra to help you to answer all of the questions that we just have previously. Okay. Okay, guys. Pak, pertanyaan terakhir dikit lagi. Oh, ada yang belum ditulis ya, sebentar. Wait, let me show it again. Here we go. Saya kasih waktu sebentar lagi ya, sambil ditulis ya, guys. Oke. Ya, silakan di SS aja dulu ya. If you don't have time, just SS. On 3, 2, 1, and okay. Okay, so thank you very much for. Is there any question, guys? No? Okay. So again, thank you very much for your participation today, and hopefully you have a great day today, and all of you are healthy. I'll be seeing you again on Friday. Yeah, thank you very much, and see you again. Arigatou gozaimashita. Bye bye. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna end the class. Thank you, Abel.